It was a day full of excitement and happiness for her. She met her fiancé today, and it was a day when all her dreams came true. He came to her with a smile on his face, giving her a bouquet of flowers. Her heart was beating with joy, for he was the perfect man. The sun shone brightly, reflecting in his eyes. They spent the day together, enjoying every moment of their meeting, immersing themselves in the magic of love. Lucian Cadrian met his chosen one for the first time today. His heart flashed with excitement as he approached her with confidence and a smile that sparkled in his eyes. He introduced himself, saying his name with a slight smile. Her gaze stopped on him, and she realized that this moment would be an unforgettable moment in their shared history. Lucian felt proud and happy to see his beautiful day made even more special by her presence. She was shocked by his beauty, as if she had encountered something magical. Her gaze drifted to Lucian Cadrian, and she couldn't take her eyes off this stunning man. Every feature of his face seemed designed to be admired. Her heart beat harder, sinking into a world of love fantasies. She just stared at him, enthralled and captivated by this bright, beautiful person. Feronia Lilac, with her face red with excitement and embarrassment, sweetly greeted Lucian Cadrian. Her voice sounded slightly shaky with mixed feelings of joy and excitement. She said her name with tenderness, as if giving him a piece of her soul. Lucian smiled in return, welcoming her words, and in that moment they both felt the beginnings of something special blossom around them. Lucian expressed regret, saying that he was truly sorry that they had not met earlier, and he explained that the long and ongoing war had made it difficult to return home. There was a sadness in his words that the circumstances of the war had deprived them of the opportunity to meet earlier. Feronia listened attentively to his story, feeling the weight of the past trials in the air. Feronia smiled, trying to soften the sadness in his words, and replied, "It's all right. The important thing is that we have met each other now. We can't stop savoring the moment and admiring this magic that fate has brought." Her warm words filled the space with comfort, and she continued to look at him with love and admiration, happy to be together. They stood at the table, enjoying the atmosphere of coziness. Cups of tea stood before them, radiating warmth and coziness. While the aroma of tea filled the room, Feronia and Lucian talked non-stop, exchanging glances passionately. Their conversation was full of laughter, serious moments, and tender words. They never tired of admiring each other, as if each glance brought a new dose of magic to their encounter. Feronia and Lucian stood side by side, savoring the moment, exchanging glances full of mutual admiration and love. In their eyes flickered the realization that every moment now was part of something unique. Lord Cardian, the hero of the Empire, and Feronia Lilac, in love at this moment, were enjoying their tea, merging in shared delight and harmony. A hero of the Empire, Lord Cardian became such due to his outstanding efforts and feats that led to the Empire's victory. His personal courage, strategic genius, and dedication to principles made him a key figure in the struggle for success. Lord Cardian became a symbol of heroism and leadership, earning admiration and recognition for his contribution to securing victory in the war. Someone who was recognized as a groom by the Emperor 2 years ago probably holds a special position in society. His recognition by the Emperor as a groom may indicate his outstanding qualities, status, or services to the Empire. Such recognition may have opened up new prospects and responsibilities for him, both in his private life and in his public activities. If the hero has been recognized by the Emperor as a suitor, and he is madly in love with the protagonist, it adds complexity to his responsibilities and causes a sea of emotional turmoil. Love for the protagonist can be a source of strength and inspiration, but also create additional trials and challenges, especially if they face difficulties in their relationship, or if their love is tested because of a difficult situation in the Empire or the world around them. A plot with a minor protagonist who is insane and destroys half the Empire provides many opportunities for intrigue and drama. This character, on the verge of madness and causing serious destruction, can be a key element of the plot, raising questions about the reasons for his madness, the consequences for the Empire, and how other characters react to his actions. Saint Estelle is a novel she read while immersed in a whirlwind of passion and mystery. In its pages, the characters, their feelings, the love story, and the mystery come alive. This story intertwines drama, romance, and incredible turns of events, capturing the reader into its magical world. Each chapter reveals new secrets, leaving a mark in your heart like a magical trail. Perhaps the sainthood of one heroine is not a sufficient attribute, and her enchanting personality attracts attention. Her appeal may be due not only to her moral qualities, but also to her mystery, passion, or unexpected character traits. Such unusual traits can give the heroine an intriguing depth, creating a reader's desire to unravel the mysteries of her personality and delve into the complex relationships in the novel. The heroine of the novel possesses such a stirring charm that all the attractive men in her entourage have lost their heads over her. Her presence probably comes from far beyond external beauty, including magnetism of character and incredible charm. This moment creates dynamic and exciting scenes in the novel where feelings and passions explode around the protagonist, making her the focus of attention in the story. Even the hero of the Empire, Lucian Cardian, could not resist the charms of the protagonist. Her influence was so powerful that even he, who was used to great deeds and decisions, could not resist the magic of her personality. Perhaps their relationship was an important twist in the plot, where the clash of forces and passions gave the novel even more intrigue and emotional intensity. As she read the novel, she pondered why a courageous warrior capable of bloody combat and tearing enemies apart would tremble before the saint. Perhaps the mystery of her personality and supernatural influence evoked something that even strong hearts could feel. This dynamic added interesting layers to the story, leaving the reader in the dark and keeping the protagonist's character mysterious. Despite the Crown Prince's beauty and nobility, she found that the second main character, Lucian, attracted her attention more strongly. Perhaps his mystery, complex character, or unusual traits make him more appealing. This suspense of falling in love adds emotional drama to the story, stirring up feelings and creating unexpected relationships between the characters. The plot becomes even more confusing. The reader finds herself in the body of the very same bride. This sudden change of point of view adds an element of mysticism and drama. Now, as the bride, she experiences all the feelings and difficulties associated with her character. This turn of events emphasizes the importance of inner peace and emotional experience, creating a unique plot vortex for the reader. The plot takes a dark turn. The minor protagonist, having lost his head because of his passion for the protagonist, finds himself on the verge of madness. He, perhaps losing his mind because of love and jealousy, becomes a threat to everyone around him, including the protagonist herself. The impending murder by his own hands adds elements of suspense to the plot, creating an anxious anticipation of the conflict's resolution. Lucian Cardian had always loved the saint since childhood, but fear and insecurity prevented him from admitting his feelings. He hid his love, afraid of the possible repercussions. However, the flame of passion burned within him, and every glance at Saint was full of tenderness and admiration. Difficult emotions prevented him from opening his heart, and Lucian continued to watch from afar, where he secretly cherished his feelings. Lucian Cardian was born with red eyes, making him unique even among his own people. This special trait was often accompanied by prejudice and myths, which increased his sense of fear regarding the revelation of his love for the saint. He feared that his peculiarity might cause misunderstanding and rejection, so he kept his feelings secret, hiding his love behind a mask of calmness. Since ancient times, it has been believed that red eyes can be perceived as a curse of demons or a sign of supernatural power. These prejudices and myths created an atmosphere of fear and misunderstanding in society. People who possessed such traits could face prejudice from others, which could affect their self-esteem and social relationships. Lucian, born with red eyes, may have had difficulty due to these ancient beliefs, which probably made it even more difficult for him to show his feelings for the saint. While still young, Lucian Cardian was knighted, and his merits on the battlefield were incredible. However, despite his valiant exploits, people still whispered behind his back, suggesting that he had borrowed his power from demons because of his unusual red eyes. These rumors had an effect on his reputation, creating a shadow of suspicion and distrust even in light of his courageous deeds. Lucian faced challenges, fighting not only on the battlefield, but also against the preconceived notions of his own society. Because of the rumors and misunderstandings surrounding Lucian, because of his red eyes and incredible fighting skills, he avoided a close relationship with the saint. Fear of possible judgment and suspicion pushed him away from the possibility of admitting his feelings. Lucian, a loyal knight, was imprisoned in his own isolation, trying to protect it from rumors and the influence of the shadows of the past that haunted him. Lucian believed that even admiring her beauty would be a great sin for someone considered cursed because of her red eyes and rumored connection to demons. He was tormented by guilt towards the saint, seeking to shelter her from the possible consequences of his own status. This inner conflict and self-restraint could create an emotional storm in his soul, making it difficult to even show simple admiration for her splendor. Lucian, despite his inner struggles and fears, put up with his desire to get closer to the saint. He realized that these feelings did not come from evil, but from a deep love. Thus, he began to overcome his doubts, resolving to step forward to draw closer to the one he loved. Peace in his soul came with the decision to fight for his happiness despite the prejudices and shadows of the past. When Lucian found out that Saint and the prince had fallen in love, all the feelings he had suppressed came out. The emotions he had tried to hide were suddenly released, causing excitement and pain in his heart. It became clear that his tender feelings were unrealizable, and he was now faced with the difficult task of accepting this reality. Despite his disappointment, this released storm of emotions could help him release the weight of the mystery and begin to find his own path to happiness. He loved Estella wholeheartedly, but despite his best efforts to express his feelings, somehow he always seemed unable to convey the depth of his love. The fears and prejudices associated with his red eyes and rumors of a connection to demons created an invisible wall between him and the one he loved. Thus, despite the sincerity of his feelings, Lucian often felt difficulty in expressing his love for Estella. No matter how many tears Lucian shed, the feeling of dissatisfaction and difficulty in expressing his feelings continued to haunt him. But in every tear was a desire to understand, accept, and perhaps change his fate. In this pain and hope, Lucian sought true love and understanding, hoping that his sincerity would someday be met with a response. The saint did not accept his love, and this was a great trial for Lucian. Despite his best efforts and sincere feelings, she may have perceived him differently because of the rumors and prejudices associated with his red eyes. Her refusal to reciprocate his love may have caused Lucian deep pain and disappointment, leaving him facing the need to accept a difficult reality and perhaps find new meaning in his life. The situation was even more complicated, because Saint had already given her heart to another man. This realization could have caused Lucian even more pain and sadness. He might have been faced with a difficult choice of accepting reality and letting go of his feelings, or continuing to fight with himself in the hope of a miracle. This situation required his fortitude and willingness to heal his own heart. Lucian was overcome with deep sorrow and fierce jealousy, sadness because of unfulfilled love and the realization of loss, and jealousy because the saint's heart already belonged to another. These emotions rushed through his soul like a storm, creating internal conflict and difficult moments of self-discovery. Lucian faced the difficult journey of accepting and managing his feelings in an environment where reality did not match his dreams. Under the influence of deep emotional turbulence, Lucian felt demonic powers awakening in him. It was an unexpected and startling discovery for him. Energy that might have previously seemed dark and unbridled was now available, as if his own suffering and desires had awakened an inner potential. Lucian found himself face to face with a power that could change his destiny, and now he faced the choice of using that power for evil or finding a path to healing and reconciliation with his past. Under the influence of his awakened demonic powers, Lucian lost his mind, and anything that got in his way and brought him pain became the object of his merciless rage. He killed those who stood in his way, insulting him or causing suffering. This loss of control was the price he paid for access to the powers, and it would have consequences he could not have foreseen. Lucian found himself in the shadow of his own rage, and his actions became the black embodiment of what he had become. as a result of his inner storms and loss of touch with reality. Among those Lucian mercilessly killed was his fiancée Feronia. Secretly harboring contempt for him, she became the victim of his revenge. Lucian's inner conflict and psychological torment caused by the loss of his beloved led to madness and ruthless actions that destroyed not only his fate, but also the lives of those around him. This tragic story was the result of losing control of his demonic powers and sinking into darkness. Lucian turned out to be like a ticking bomb with a demon inside him. His emotional explosion and inner conflict, fueled by demonic energy, made him uncontrollable and dangerous. The demon within him became a force of destruction, ready to explode at any moment. This inner conflict and sinister energy made him not only a threat to those around him, but also to himself. Lucian became a prisoner of his own demons, threatening to explode in a flood of darkness and destruction. Feronia, although she felt the desire to break the engagement immediately, found it difficult to put this into action. The engagement was arranged by the emperor, making it difficult and nearly impossible to resolve. The emperor's power and influence created a barrier in her quest to free herself from this bond with Lucian. Now that Lucian had become extremely dangerous, her situation was even more difficult and risky. Suddenly, Feronia jumped up from the table, shouting that he had hurt himself. In that instant, the ordinary atmosphere of the dinner turned to excitement and anxiety. Characters scramble from their seats, eager to render aid or discern what has happened. This unexpected turn of events will bring additional drama and uncertainty to the novel. He calmly said it was no big deal, just ignore it. While those around him were frightened and agitated, he kept his cool and easily brushed off what had happened. This brief moment adds mystery to his character, making the reader wonder what might be behind his calmness in a situation that seemed serious. In the story, Lucian had the unique ability to heal his wounds. This ability added mystery to his character and became a key element in the development of the story. This may have been due to his demonic nature or the peculiarities of the world in which the story unfolded. This ability could play an important role in fight scenes, internal conflicts, and relationships with other characters. She reflected on whether or not such abilities existed, for such things should not be taken lightly. This reflection by the heroine may reflect her meaningful approach to the mysteries and mystical aspects of the story. Perhaps she is beginning to realize that even if such abilities exist, they may carry with them other more complex consequences, or require the characters to be more. She quickly ran to look for an electric band-aid and found one. With this equipment, she might be able to help Lucian by using it to treat his wounds. This moment could be an important twist in the story where the heroine shows perseverance and concern for Lucian's well-being, emphasizing their relationship. She walked over to him and slowly, gently applied the electric band-aid to the wound. In this moment of care and affection, she could feel his warmth and perceive every detail of this moment. This scene may have been an important turning point in their relationship, emphasizing their mutual understanding and the importance of support in difficult moments. He looked at her with an amorous gaze. At that moment, his eyes expressed not only gratitude for her help, but something deeper and more intimate. Perhaps their relationship was taking on new hues, and Lucian's gaze spoke of feelings in his heart that he had not dared to acknowledge before. She apologized for her awkwardness. Reflecting on her actions, she recognized that her care may have been perceived as violating a personal boundary or causing uncomfortable feelings. Her sincere apology may have been an attempt to restore comfort and clarity to their relationship after the intimate moment of caring for his wound. He, looking at her, said that she is exactly as they say she is. This remark could mean that her actions or personality match what other characters have previously said about her. It could possibly have been a compliment, as well as a defiant expression, depending on the context and the relationship between the characters. She was puzzled, wondering what the rumors were about. This moment brought an element of mystery and uncertainty to their relationship. The heroine is probably faced with an unexpected revelation or hint of what is being said about her behind her back. This could be an additional plot twist, creating interest and stimulating the reader to uncover the secrets of the heroine's past. He said that he had heard that she was a very open person. This comment perhaps indicates that her character or personality is known to those around her. Perhaps this openness has attracted attention, and his words could be the beginning of a deeper conversation about how she is perceived by other characters and what aspects of her personality stand out in their perceptions. He may have heard that the Marquis's daughter has a bad temper. This clarification may add further complexity to their relationship and provide clues to the bias or prejudice that may arise from rumors about the protagonist's personality. Such a turn of events can be a source of drama and cause new challenges to the development of the plot. Even if no one says so, she knows that she is. This point emphasizes her sensitivity to the perceptions of others and may suggest that she is aware of how her identity is perceived in society. It may also emphasize her internal struggles with prejudices or stereotypes that may influence others' views of her. If the real Feronia were now sitting in front of Lucian instead of her, she would be looking at him with a look of contempt. This image emphasizes the tension and conflict between Lucian and the real Feronia, creating an interest in the past and the dynamics of the characters. But that's not the case now. This turn of events may indicate a change in the circumstances or relationships of the characters. Perhaps something has changed and the characters are facing new challenges or opportunities as they reconsider their relationships and views of each other. It is clear that her reaction is related to her beliefs in pacifism and good character. When confronted with Lucian, who seems to have lost his mind, she feels compassion and concern for his mental state. This creates an interesting contrast between her character and the state of the secondary main character, adding complexity and depth to the story. She said that rumors are just provocative stories created by people who have nothing else to do but talk. Her words may reflect a negative attitude toward gossip and idle talk, and emphasize that such rumors have no real basis in fact. This moment can serve as a demonstration of her strength of character and her ability to keep a clear head and ignore negative comments from others. She asked him if his actions are really so different from what is rumored about him. This question may reveal a contradiction between how he is perceived because of the rumors and the real nature of his actions. Perhaps the heroine is trying to understand the true nature of the secondary protagonist, and this dialogue may be a key moment in their relationship. He, looking at her, said that yes, it is true. His candor may be an important step toward understanding and accepting his personality and actions. This moment may be the beginning of their mutual understanding and perhaps a change in the main character's attitude toward the secondary protagonist. He apologized, saying that he was badly mistaken. This moment can be a turning point in the story, opening up new perspectives for the characters. Admitting mistakes and apologizing can be the beginning of change in their relationship and set the stage for the development of personal arcs. She said it's okay, while thinking about how his smile is very beautiful and bad for her heart. This inner monologue adds complexity to her emotional world. Perhaps her feelings for the secondary protagonist begin to change, and she realizes that his presence affects her more deeply than she thought. This smile of his was nothing like the cruel smile that had been on his face. She realized that she could not control the beating of her heart. This moment may indicate the heroine's inner conflict, her struggle with her own feelings, and the sudden change in perception of the secondary protagonist. She felt him gradually opening up to her. This moment may indicate a change in the relationship between the protagonist and the secondary protagonist. The discovery of his true identity may create a deeper connection between them and trigger new emotional experiences. The previous awkward atmosphere was fading away. Their interactions were likely to become more natural and open as they began to understand each other better. The withdrawal of awkwardness can create a more comfortable environment, which has a positive effect on the dynamics of their relationship. And the conversation with Lucian continued much more casually. Their conversation may have become more open and sincere, reflecting the development of intimacy and understanding between the characters. This turn of events may add momentum and interest to the further development of their relationship. Now that they're more or less relaxed, shouldn't they cut to the chase? This question might be the impetus for a more serious conversation or event in the story. Perhaps the characters are facing something important that requires their attention and action. Getting to the point can add tension or raise new issues, bringing an element of intrigue to the story. She starts a conversation about having their engagement ceremony at her house in 2 weeks. This turn of events can signify an important moment in the story where the main characters decide on their future together. The engagement could be a pivotal moment in their relationship, and the ceremony itself could be the occasion for new events and experiences. It's been 2 years since their engagement, but the ceremony hasn't been held yet. This creates interest in the reasons for the delay and could be a source of new questions and dramatic plot development. Perhaps something internal or external is preventing them from finalizing this important stage of their relationship. It is clear that the reason for the delay of the engagement ceremony is that Lucian has spent all these 2 years at war. This fact adds an element of drama and complexity to the story by describing the difficulties faced by the main characters. The time spent at war can affect their relationship, cause emotional difficulties, and set the stage for an interesting plot development. As soon as victory was announced, his father set a date for the engagement ceremony. This turn of events may symbolize the end of hostilities and Lucian's return home, which would be an important milestone in their relationship. Setting a date for the ceremony may emphasize the hope of a new beginning and stability after a period of hardship. He is preparing hard for the same. This is the first official banquet Lucian will attend after winning the war. This moment may be an important and symbolic moment for Lucian, reflecting his return to society after his hard times at the front. The banquet will be an opportunity for new beginnings and celebration and will allow him to enter the next phase of his life. Whether he was cursed by a demon or not, Lucian remained the most famous knight of the empire. His fame and recognition became immutable, despite possible dark secrets in his past. This could be an interesting plot element, emphasizing his power and influence in the world despite the hardships he may have endured. And since he is the main participant in the ceremony, it is natural that many people will want to attend. Lucian's fame and reputation, as well as his role in important events, will attract attention and generate public interest. The ceremony can be a significant event, gathering many guests and creating an atmosphere of excitement and anticipation. The father gave everything to decorate the hall for the banquet. This indicates that the heroine's father attaches great importance to the upcoming event and is ready to do everything possible for its bright and impressive holding. Hall decorations can become not only an element of visual celebration, but also a symbol of care and support from the family at this important moment. And he sent invitations to all the influential people of the empire. This emphasizes the importance of the ceremony and the heroine's father's desire to make her visible in society. Invitations to influential people can create an atmosphere of formality and importance of the event, as well as being a moment of social interaction between different segments of society. She went on to say that all the most influential aristocrats would be present at the banquet. This detail adds to the importance of the event and emphasizes its prestige. The presence of influential aristocrats can add an element of social dynamics to the ceremony, as well as create a unique atmosphere for the protagonists. She mentioned the saint. His eyes grew larger and he thought about something. This moment may indicate Lucian's inner conflict or excitement at the mention of the saint. It may have to do with his past and how he experiences his feelings for this character. This episode adds intrigue and may foreshadow important developments in the plot. He has all the emotions written on his face, but Estelle cannot recognize his tender feelings. This scene can represent the difficulties in communication between the characters, or possible obstacles in their relationship. Misunderstandings of emotions can add tension to the plot and maintain intrigue around Lucian's feelings. She does not like that he continues to avoid Estelle for fear of revealing his feelings. This point can be a source of conflict in their relationship. Lucian's uncertainty and remoteness may cause frustration and misunderstanding for Estelle, increasing the drama and dynamics of the plot, so she decides to help him. This twist may foreshadow a new stage in the development of the plot and the relationship between the characters. Estelle's decision to help Lucian may lead to interesting and unexpected events that affect the dynamics of their relationship. She said that since a saint would be present at the ceremony, they could ask her for a blessing dance. This suggestion can be an interesting plot element, adding a mystical or religious aspect to the ceremony. The blessing dance can be a symbol of a new beginning and emphasize the importance of the saint's presence in their lives. He was embarrassed and did not know what to say. This moment describes his awkwardness and possible internal struggles with his emotions. The uncertainty and silence may mirror the complex feelings Lucian experiences in response to Estelle's proposal. A dance of blessing is literally a dance with the sacred. This phenomenon can add mystery and special atmosphere to a story by providing a unique opportunity for characters to communicate with the divine. Such a dance can symbolize their desire for blessing and support at important moments in life. And since this is an indirect use of the powers of the holy, like wound healing, it adds an interesting aspect to their world. The blessing dance associated with wound healing may represent a specific ritual associated with mystical powers. This can bring a magical element to the story and create additional layers of meaning between characters. Estelle will easily dance with the celebrants. Her willingness to take part in the blessing dance emphasizes her openness and desire to participate in important moments. This dance can be a symbol of unity and joy, as well as add a festive mood to the engagement ceremony. The routine of taking turns dancing with the bride and groom will be her goal. It adds an ordinary but important aspect to the development of the plot and relationship. The dance with the husband-to-be can become a symbol of their closeness and willingness to experience all moments together, both ordinary and special. She asks if Lord Cardian is okay with it. This is an important moment where Estelle makes sure that Lucian agrees and does not object to her desire to dance with the celebrants. This emphasizes attention to Lucian's feelings and wishes, which may influence the development of their relationship. Up to this point, he has deliberately avoided meeting Estelle, but now he has no other choice. This may indicate a change in circumstances or the occurrence of events that cause Lucian to change his behavior and participate in the dance. This twist could be an important moment in the development of the plot and the personal growth of the characters. And there's more to it than just meeting. They will meet each other's eyes, hold each other's hands, and feel each other's warmth. This moment can be mysterious and emotional, symbolizing rebirth and a new beginning in their relationship. The mutual warmth can be a sign of inner harmony and connection between the characters. Then, Estelle will be able to understand what feelings Lucian has been hiding from her. This moment may become the key to unraveling the mystery of his emotions and create a basis for further development of their relationship. The meeting of gazes and exchange of warmth may open a new chapter in their mutual understanding and lead to the discovery of true feelings. It was her plan to bring them together. The step-by-step realization of this plan in the blessing dance may not only be a romantic moment, but also the key to unlocking their feelings for each other. Feronia has probably been carefully crafting this plan in an effort to bring them closer, and now she sees it coming to fruition in this special moment. He calmly said it would be difficult. This reaction may indicate his internal conflicts or uncertainty about participating in the dance. He may be feeling pressured and puzzled to return to close contact with Estelle. This moment may also be a starting point for a deeper discussion of their relationship. She was puzzled, asking why. This question reflects her surprise and desire to understand Lucian's reasons for thinking that it would be difficult to participate in the dance. Feronia may want to resolve any possible concerns or frustrations that Lucian may have regarding this moment. He said he just couldn't dance. This direct and honest response may reveal his personal insecurities and possible complexes. Dancing may be triggering his feelings of failure or fear of embarrassing behavior. This scene may be an occasion for support and understanding from Verona. She hadn't expected this from him at all. The prince who popped out of the fairy tale turned out to be a handsome man who cannot dance. This unexpected moment can add humor and naturalness to the story, knocking down stereotypes and expectations. Feronia has probably encountered an unexpected aspect of Lucian, which can add depth and authenticity to their relationship. Really, if you think about it, it makes sense. Lucian, after all, is an orphan and has lived on the battlefield since he was 12 years old. His wartime life experiences likely didn't provide him with many opportunities to learn dance skills. This detail reveals the complexities of his past life and may be an occasion for a deeper understanding of his character. Rarely attended banquets, so he was unable to learn to dance. This aspect of his past life adds important context and explanation. His limited experience attending social events and banquets explains his inexperience with dancing. Such details create a fuller and more complex image of the character, emphasizing his unique traits and limitations. He apologized to her, to Lady Feronia, for not being able to dance. This moment may be a display of his modesty and respect for her expectations. Lucian may be embarrassed by his inexperience and afraid of disappointing Feronia, so he apologizes for his dancing skills beforehand. She said there was no need to apologize. If there is something a man is good at, there is also something he is not good at. In the war, he destroyed enemies with his dance of death. This response could emphasize her understanding and respect for his past exploits and skills in wartime, creating a balance between his military accomplishments and his lack of experience in mundane activities. She thought about the nonsense she was talking, and it was more like sarcasm. This moment may indicate her capacity for self-irony and her realization of the inconsistency of her words with reality. She may have tried to support Lucian or cheer him up by using a sarcastic tone, but she thought of something. She told him that she would teach him how to dance. This turn of events could be an interesting development in their relationship. Estelle's offer to teach Lucian to dance could be an opportunity for close contact and spending time together, possibly strengthening their bond. He was puzzled and looked at her in surprise. This reaction from Lucian may reflect his surprise and perhaps some mixed feelings about Theronius's proposal. This could be an interesting point to further develop the plot and their relationship. She said that they should still dance at the ceremony, and he is not rude enough to deny his fiancée's sincere intentions. This remark may emphasize her determination and intervention in the situation, showing that it is important to her that they participate in the ceremony together. Despite his inexperience in dancing, he agreed, and so she wondered. This moment can create interest and suspense in a story, providing an opportunity for further development of their relationship. Evening came. The sun was going behind the horizon. Only faint rays of light were visible. This moment describes the sunset and creates the atmosphere of a warm and peaceful evening. In such a setting, the characters can continue their communication or preparation for the upcoming event. She came home tired. This description may indicate a difficult or busy day for the character. Perhaps the following events will involve rest, reflection, or important moments in her life. She's met by some guy who asks her how her day went, meeting Lord Cardian. The first meeting is always somewhat awkward, and he understands it perfectly. This moment adds an element of intrigue and possible relationships to the story, as well as emphasizing the social aspect of the heroine's life. It was her father who said that when he met her mother for the first time, there was also an awkward atmosphere. This analogy between her parents and her first meeting with Lord Cardian can emphasize the common human emotions in a new relationship and create a sense of unity in the family experience. Her father, Marquis Lilac, is a rare talker. This character element could add an interesting dynamic to the story, creating a character who enjoys socializing and perhaps lending a lightness to the setting in various scenes and dialogues. She said she was tired and went to her room. This description may signal her physical or emotional fatigue and may foreshadow the next events or plot twist. He shouted that she should not forget that she must get Lord Cardian for the sake of her family. This moment may reveal the pressure on the heroine from her father and emphasize the importance of strategic alliances in aristocratic circles. She thought it was just funny. This internal moment of the heroine may indicate her attitude to her father's pressure, or her ability to maintain a sense of humor in such situations. The Marquis of Lilac's family's business has gone bankrupt, with only one name left of it. This turn of events could have serious consequences for the family and be a source of additional tension in the plot. And Lucian, a hero of the Empire with a beautiful future, favored by the Emperor. This fact about Lucian adds an interesting aspect to his character and status in society, which can affect the course of the story. So Feronia was betrothed to a man she despised. The problem is that even after the engagement, the real Feronia did not hide her contempt in any way. This situation creates tension and conflict in the relationship, and her overt lashing out can add further complications to family or social relationships. The father was afraid that Lucian would get fed up with this and break off his engagement to his arrogant daughter. This anxiety of the father can be a source of tension in the relationship, as well as adding an element of uncertainty to the development of the plot. But my father doesn't have to worry about that anymore, because before he breaks our engagement, she will. This plot element can emphasize the strength and independence of the heroine, creating an interesting dynamic relationship between the characters. She's already got it all figured out, and she's about to put the plan to work. This moment may indicate that the heroine has her own plans and strategies to deal with a difficult situation. Perhaps her actions will add unexpected twists to the plot. Verona wanted to write a letter to Estelle, asking her to dance a dance of blessing with them. This gesture could be an attempt by Verona to reconcile or settle the relationship, as well as adding a dramatic element to the story. She thought about if it didn't sound strange since they didn't know each other, but she knew Lucien. This moment could emphasize the special bond between Verona and Lucien, as well as bring interesting nuances to the development of the plot. She kept thinking about how to write. This moment emphasizes Verona's inner monologue, her reflections and possible hesitations about the content of the letter, which may give her character additional depth. She did not like the first copy and threw it away. This moment may reflect Verona's self-demanding nature and her pursuit of perfection in writing the letter, which adds detail to her character and emphasizes the importance of this gesture. She wrote another letter. This twist may show Verona's persistence and her desire to get her message to Estelle, as well as create interest in what happens next in the story, and ordered that the letter be sent to him and to make sure he read it. This twist may emphasize the importance to Verona that her message be delivered and read by the addressee, which may affect the further development of the plot. The territory Lucien received from the Emperor after winning the war is far to the north. Therefore, when he is in the capital, he stays in a mansion. This element adds extra depth to the world building and can influence the perception of Lucien as a hero and influential person in the Empire. After all, he is a knight who is blessed by the Emperor himself. This moment emphasizes Lucien's high status and influence, and adds the aspect of loyalty and support from the Emperor, which can affect his relationships and role in the Empire. She gathered her thoughts and, deciding that she was not afraid of anything, went to him. This moment may reflect Verona's determination and willpower to confront a difficult situation or deal with important issues. He greeted her sweetly, happy to see her. This moment can convey warmth and positive emotions, which creates a pleasant atmosphere of meeting between Lucien and Verona. She said that she thought she would be met by the butler, so she was wary. This moment may indicate some of Verona's expectations and prior fears that may be affecting her emotional state. He told her that he was not at all accustomed to wearing suits, as they restricted his movements. This moment may convey a certain frankness and lack of pretensions in communication, as well as reveal the peculiarities of Lucien's character. She said he looked very handsome, and he sniffed. This moment may convey some awkwardness or even insecurity on Lucien's part about his appearance, despite Verona's admiration. She thought about the fact that such a large mansion, yet there were almost no servants. This point could indicate Lucien's lifestyle, his preferences, or even his willpower to make do with a minimal number of servants. She asked him if he couldn't dance at all. This question may reveal some details of Lucien's character and perhaps become a starting point for a new phase of their relationship. He said that he could only greet. This response may indicate that Lucien has limited experience in dancing, but he is willing to show respect and courtesy at the ceremony. She said they didn't have to learn ballroom dancing. It would be a simple waltz, not complicated at all. This point may convey her willingness to simplify the situation and create a comfortable interaction, even if Lucien has no dance experience. He looked at her and said he understood. This response may indicate Lucien's willingness to follow her suggestion and participate in the waltz dance at the ceremony. She, looking at him, said that they should meet face to face first. This moment can create intrigue and add an element of anticipation to their upcoming meeting. She thought about the fact that she chose heeled shoes, but still has to raise her head high to look him in the eye. This moment may symbolize her desire to be on an equal footing with Lucien, despite differences in height or social status. She, looking at him, thought about how his eyes were like rubies. She pondered how people could claim that such beautiful and lovely eyes were cursed. He asked Lady Theronia embarrassedly if it was so necessary for her to look at him, for he was embarrassed by her gaze. With an elegant smile, Feronia began to teach Lucian how to dance, revealing to him the beauty of the movements. She led him smoothly through the first steps, demonstrating the exquisite elements of a greeting. Lucian gazed admiringly at her grace, feeling the rhythm of the music in every movement. Feronia patiently instructed like a sorceress, opening up the world of dance to her student. Together they created harmony, filling the space with magic and beauty. Feronia looked up at Lucian without saying a word and nodded lightly, pointing to her hands. Lucian, realizing her hint, took her hands. Through thin gloves, Feronia felt his rough palms, but she did not express any emotion. Together, without further words, they began to move, creating a dancing harmony, as if united by an invisible thread of art. Feronia, feeling his hands in hers, smiled softly and said, "Don't worry, Lucian. I will teach you step by step. Dance is like poetry, requiring patience and passion. It may be difficult in the beginning, but together we will make each step special." She kept moving, supporting him like a magical mentor in the world of dance. Feronia, with graceful movements, began to explain the dance moves step by step to Lucian. He listened attentively to her instructions, trying to reproduce each step with precision. Their dance was a harmony of instruction and imitation, creating an atmosphere of learning and mutual understanding. Feronia, like an inspiring teacher, guided him, and Lucian, focused and devoted, repeated the movements, striving to master the art of dance. Feronia, noticing that Lucian might lack a sense of rhythm, decided to take the initiative. With ease, she adjusted to his movements, trying to impart rhythm and musicality to him. Saying with a smile, "Lucian, rhythm is like inspiration. Let's feel it together." She gently guided his body, helping him gradually get into the musical pulse. Despite his initial difficulties, she supported him with love and patience, striving to awaken his sense of rhythm. Feronia, hearing his explanation, smiled reassuringly and said, "Lucian, there's nothing wrong with the fact that you've never danced before. All that matters is the willingness to learn. Let's start with the easiest steps and I'll be there to help. Dance is about expressing yourself and enjoying the moment. Don't worry, we'll get through this journey together." With those words, she continued to teach him, trying to create an atmosphere of confidence and understanding. Gradually, Lucian began to grasp the art of dance. Under Feronia's guidance, he could feel his body beginning to respond to the rhythm, and each step became more and more confident. Feronia smiled admiringly as she saw his progress and encouraged him by saying, "Well done, Lucian. You are making great progress. It's important not just to dance, but to enjoy it. Remember that dance is freedom and an expression of the soul." Together they created a beautiful harmony, discovering the joy of dance. Feronia continued to patiently support Lucian, realizing that the process of mastering the dance might take time. Despite the offbeat and far-off rhythm steps, she could see that his efforts were paying off. With a smile, she said, "Lucian, you continue to improve. Remember, it's not just the result itself that matters, but the pleasure of the process. You are taking big steps forward, and I am sure that soon we will be dancing in harmony. Patience and perseverance are your best dance partners." Feronia, feeling tired from the work she had done, turned to Lucian with a smile. "We have done a great job, Lucian. Are you not feeling thirsty? I suggest we take a break and have a cup of tea. It will help us relax and enjoy the results of our efforts." Lucian gratefully agreed, and they made their way to the tea table to share a moment of relaxation and exchange impressions of the dance. Lucian, sitting with Feronia and enjoying his tea, decided to ask her a question. "Feronia, I'm interested in learning more about you. Perhaps you can tell me about something that is particularly important or interesting to you." Feronia, smiling, was willing to share her experiences and stories, creating an atmosphere of open and trusting communication. Feronia expressed her concern to Lucian, saying that she didn't want to hear people mocking her because of his inexperience with dancing. She clarified that he was her husband, and her concern for him was above any negative comments. Lucian may have felt her support and gratitude for her loyalty. Feronia, seeing the misunderstanding in Lucian's eyes, hastily added so that he wouldn't misunderstand her. She clarified that she was not referring to being ashamed of Lord Cardian, but rather worried about possible negative reactions from others. Feronia expressed her support for Lucian and clarified that she was proud of him and their relationship, despite outside opinions. Lucian looked into Feronia's eyes and told her that Estelle had saved him from hell. His words contained deep gratitude and recognition of the importance of the role she had played in his life. Feronia, taking in his words, could feel the significance of this moment and the insight into their relationship. Lucian, filled with emotion, confessed that he would express his love for the saint every minute. There was sincerity in his words and a willingness to open his heart to her. Feronia may have felt the excitement and warmth in this confession, creating a moment of true intimacy between them. Lucian, expressing his feelings, said that anyone else might have been inclined to run away without a backward glance, especially after learning of his past association with the saint. There was some anxiety and worry in his words, but he was probably expressing his willingness to face these challenges for the sake of his love for Feronia. Feronia, hearing his words, replied that she doubted it, arguing that eccentric tastes might not be confined to the saint. Her retort may have been humorous, and perhaps she was trying to soften the discussion by adding lightness and ease to the conversation. Feronia, feeling impatient and excited, arrived at Lucian's door a little early. A smile lit up her face as she met him again. The moment was filled with anticipation of new encounters and adventures, and together they began another day full of possibilities and joyous moments. The servant greeted Feronia with respect and courtesy, informing her that she would escort her to the guest room. Feronia, due to her high reputation, could expect caring service. She followed the servant, ready to spend time in the cozy surroundings and perhaps meet Lucian in the near future. Lucian, preferring privacy, expressed his dissatisfaction with the presence of many servants. He would prefer to minimize the number of people around him to create a more comfortable environment. This could reflect his desire to maintain a calm and peaceful environment in his space. Feronia met with Paul, the man in charge of managing the mansion and the servants. He was probably familiar with every corner of the house and experienced in managing servants. Feronia could have approached him with questions or requests related to organizing space or maintenance. Working with Paul may have provided her with the support and comfort she needed in this mansion. Feronia, upon learning that Paul knew the previous Verona, might have felt some insecurity. Knowing about the previous owners or occupants of a house can sometimes cause mixed feelings. Feronia may have felt the need to discuss this point with Lucian and decide how they wanted to manage their space and interact with the servants, given the mansion's past. Lucian's face reflected mixed feelings, and disappointment or bewilderment might have been written on it. Perhaps he was beginning to wonder what Feronia's motives were in regard to the servants and how her past might affect their present. This woman had caused him to have certain thoughts and questions about her intentions and connection to the previous Feronia. Feronia, seeing the bewilderment on Lucian's face, decided to clarify the situation. She told him that the servants came to help the Lord from the bottom of their hearts, and that he need not worry. Her words could have been a promise of loyalty and willingness to support Lucian in his decisions and requests. Paul, reacting to Feronia's words, expressed his disbelief by telling her not to ask him to believe in her sincerity. This may have indicated that Lucian may have doubts or some prejudices about Feronia and her motives. The situation had probably gotten more complicated, and they might have to talk and resolve misunderstandings. Feronia, sensing Paul's displeasure, began to seek him out to settle misunderstandings. Serious conversations and open communication could help them clarify their feelings and intentions, relieve tension, and restore mutual understanding. Feronia, looking for Lucian, found him in a dormant state, asleep. The sight of a sleeping person can reflect their vulnerability and peace. Feronia, seeing Lucian in this state, might have thought that this was a moment of peace, when he was not hiding his emotions or doubts. Perhaps she decided not to disturb him and waited to continue the conversation when he woke up. Feronia, looking at Lucian sleeping, thought of the possibility that he might have practiced all night. Her thoughts were probably filled with visions of his diligence and desire for perfection in dance. The moment of Lucian sleeping after a hard training session might have caused Feronia to feel a sense of pride and admiration for his perseverance. As Feronia closely follows Lucian's progress in dance, it becomes clear that he continues to practice long after she is gone. Her departure may be a time for him to practice on his own, to grow internally and refine his skills. This observed progress likely reinforces Feronia's admiration and her confidence that Lucian is truly striving for excellence in the art of dance. Understanding his diligence in training and his desire for perfection in dance, it is clear that Lucian wants to look good in Estelle's eyes. Perhaps he sees this not only as a way to show his dedication and attention to the arts, but also as a way to gain Estelle's attention and respect with his dancing skills. This motivation may serve as an additional source of inspiration for his training. Lucian awoke, and Feronia, noticing his awakening, asked, "How did you sleep?" In her question could have sounded concern and interest in his comfort and well-being after the training, and perhaps the long time spent practicing the dance. Lucian, upon seeing Feronia, abruptly got out of bed and asked when she came. The surprise and possible sense of surprise may be evident in his demeanor. Perhaps he was not expecting her appearance, and seeing her, he rushed to find out how long she had been around him. Lucian, noticing that he caught Feronia waiting, apologized for her coming and waiting for him. His words may have expressed a sense of perception of his time and a desire to be polite to Feronia. Feronia replied that everything was fine, expressing understanding and patience for his tardiness. Her response could also convey a desire to create a comfortable and friendly communication, supporting Lucian in this moment. Feronia, running her hand through Lucian's hair, informed him that his hair had become a little tangled while he slept. It might have sounded like a light remark, and perhaps there was care and affection in her words as well. The day of the engagement ceremony has arrived. It is a special moment when Lucian and Feronia prepare to make their intentions public and announce their future union. Everything around them is filled with an atmosphere of importance and joy, and they themselves probably have mixed feelings in anticipation of this important event. Feronia, appearing at the engagement ceremony, made an impression with her amazing beauty. Everyone present was shocked by her outward attractiveness, and her image probably created admiration and delight among the guests. This moment could have been a great start for their future together. Feronia looked marvelous. Her appearance emitted a sparkling light, and no one could take their eyes off her. Her appearance was perhaps just a reflection of her inner beauty and confidence, which made her irresistible in the eyes of others. This evening, filled with admiration, was a special and memorable moment for Feronia, and all who witnessed her splendor. Feronia, thanking Annie for the outfit created for her, expressed her gratitude and added that she was willing to give her time off for any day. This expression of kindness and appreciation could emphasize not only her admiration for the outfit, but also her willingness to be flexible and supportive of those who cared for her. Feronia, hearing the words of gratitude from Annie, expressed her joy and gratitude in return. Annie, in gratitude, declared that she would be faithful to Feronia for the rest of her life. This could have been a beautiful and sincere display of their mutual devotion and friendship. Feronia, noticing Lucian's anxiety, was seized with the desire to support and cheer him up before the ceremony. She worked hard to create a positive and uplifting mood around him. Her care and caring actions could serve as a source of reassurance and support for Lucian at an important time in his life. Feronia sensed that Lucian was gradually gaining confidence. This could be seen in his demeanor, facial expressions, or overall energy. Seeing this positive trend, Annie could be satisfied that her supportive efforts were paying off and helping Lucian feel more confident about the moment ahead. Annie, noticing that Lucian was slowly gaining confidence, decided to approach him. There was shock in her eyes at seeing him. Perhaps she was picking up on the changes in his mood and emotions, and her reaction might reflect excitement and pride in his overcoming his doubts. Lucian, dressed stylishly and radiating confidence, looked beautiful. His whole appearance shone, perhaps reflecting an inner confidence and joy. Annie, seeing him like this, could feel proud of his transformation and rejoice with him at this special moment before the engagement ceremony. Lucian, upon seeing Feronia, expressed his impressions by saying that she looked ravishing. Perhaps he had noticed her elegance, style, and natural beauty. This compliment could have expressed not only his admiration for her appearance, but also his gratitude for her support and presence at this important moment. Lucian and Feronia made their way to the hall where all the guests were gathered. This moment might have been filled with an atmosphere of excitement and joy on the eve of the engagement ceremony. There may have been a tension of anticipation in the hall, and everyone greeted the soon-to-be betrothed with joy and warmth. All the guests at the engagement ceremony came, including Duke Estefan, who is not often a guest at such banquets. His presence probably gave a special importance and significance to the event. The Duke's participation could have created a special atmosphere and emphasized the importance of bringing the two families together at this important moment. Understood. It turned out to be a forced engagement, organized by your family and supported by the majesty of the Emperor. Such circumstances can add a special complexity and tension to the event. It is important that all involved feel comfortable and respected during this challenging period. Feronia had anxiety, fearing that Lucian might have difficulty opening up about his feelings to Estelle. This anxiety may be related to the specifics of the story or the relationship between the characters. In such situations, open and sincere communication between all parties is important to resolve potential difficulties and make the engagement process more harmonious. Feronia may have felt a sense of responsibility or guilt towards Estelle because of some past events or circumstances. This guilt could be related to some action or decision that she feels is wrong or incorrect. In these situations, it is important to openly discuss these feelings and try to resolve any misunderstandings so that the relationship can move in a healthier and more understanding direction. The arrival of His Highness, the Crown Prince of the Empire, added a special solemnity and importance to the engagement ceremony. The presence of the prince probably gave the event even greater significance and splendor. The guests may have perceived his arrival as a special sign of respect and support for the engagement from the highest circle of authority. The arrival of the Crown Prince of the Empire caused everyone present, including Feronia, to be shocked. This unexpected turn of events may have added even more excitement and importance to the atmosphere. Feronia's reaction might have been mixed, ranging from amazement to possible worry given his prominence and influence. Feronia was confused and didn't understand why the Crown Prince of the Empire had shown up at the engagement ceremony. This unexpected presence might have caused her questions and worries about possible changes in plans or additional complications. However, perhaps in time it would become clear what role the prince played in the event. This is an interesting development. If Crown Prince Calix becomes the main character in a novel, there are likely to be new complexities and twists in the story. The rare goofball in his character could give the novel additional elements of intrigue or drama. I look forward to hearing how the plot develops and what happens next. If Crown Prince Calix catches how much Lucian loves Estelle only after she's gone, it can add depth and emotional intensity to the plot. Love twists, especially when they involve loss or breakup, can be a strong point in character development and plot drama. It can also emphasize the importance of the value of love and the realization of its value in absence. The description of Crown Prince Calix as a handsome man with black as tar hair and eyes creates an image of an attractive and mysterious character. This visual characterization can add an element of mystery and appeal to his personality in a novel. Often in literature, characters' appearance reflects their inner world and character traits. Crown Prince Calix's approach to Lucian and his admission that he is not here of his own free will, but his parents forced his presence, creates additional complications and interesting twists in the plot. This can trigger different emotional reactions and interactions between characters. Perhaps this opens the door to exploring the internal conflicts and relationship dynamics between Lucian, Calix, and other characters. Lucian thanked Calix for his mercy in coming, even though it was not of his own free will. This expression of gratitude may reflect a recognition that Calix expressed his support and understanding in a difficult situation. The interactions between the characters continue to reveal their characters and relationships in the context of the changing plot. An incredible amount of pressure was felt between Lucian and Calix. This atmosphere of tension, and for example in the novel, can create intrigue and enhance the dramatic element of the plot. Perhaps each of the characters feels the complexities of their situation, and the pressure of the interaction between them can lead to unexpected twists and turns in the development of the plot. Calix's gaze, filled with anger, was directed at Feronia. This creates a negative tension and can speak of possible conflicts and dislike between the characters. The reasons for this hostile gaze can range from complicated family relationships to misunderstandings and personal disagreements. This point can fuel the reader's interest and emphasize the tension in the story. Feronia was confused, not understanding the reason for Calix's hostile gaze. This sense of bewilderment and confusion may be the starting point for further plot development, perhaps revealing the reasons for and dynamics of the relationship between Feronia and Calix will be a key point in the course of the story, adding interest and intrigue to their interaction. Lucian noticed that Feronia was getting scared. His sensitivity to her emotions could be an important element in the development of their relationship. This may be the impetus for Lucian to show concern and protect Feronia in this moment of tension. Feronia's emotional reaction could also be the starting point for resolving the tension and further developing the plot. Lucian, with red eyes, expressed his displeasure and told Calix not to look at Feronia with that look. This demonstrates Lucian's protective stance and his willingness to stand up for Feronia. Perhaps this could also be the beginning of a discussion and clarification of the situation between the characters. Feronia was amazed and couldn't believe that Lucian had stood up for her. This could have evoked mixed feelings: surprise, appreciation, and perhaps joy that he had shown support. This moment could also be a turning point in the relationship between Feronia and Lucian, opening up new possibilities for their interaction and plot development. The tense atmosphere between Lucian and Calix made it seem as if they could kill each other. This intensity can add an element of drama and danger to the story and emphasize the seriousness of the conflict between the characters. Questions of safety and future developments can add to the reader's interest and excitement. Estelle's appearance in the audience perhaps adds additional tension and dramatic intrigue to the situation. As a major figure in the engagement, her return may have an impact on the dynamics and relationships between Lucian, Calix, and Feronia. Estelle's reaction to the tense situation could also be an important point for the development of the plot. The heroine of the novel, Saint, is the central figure and seems to be favored by all the characters. Her role and character are arguably important to the development of the plot and the relationships between the characters. This dynamic between Saint and other characters such as Lucian, Feronia, and Calix may provide unique and interesting elements for plot development. The Saint, despite her unremarkable appearance, has a marvelous character that has won many hearts. This contrast between her appearance and inner beauty makes her character unique and fascinating. Her ability to win hearts is a testament to the strength of her personality and her unique character traits that attract attention and evoke positive emotions in those around her. The Saint was simply extraordinary. This description emphasizes her peculiarity and uniqueness, perhaps in the context of her character, actions, or some unique quality that makes her an outstanding person in the world of the novel. This singularity probably plays an important role in drawing attention and interest to her character. Estelle expressed her gratitude for the invitation to such a wonderful celebration by addressing Feronia as Madam. This polite and formal address may indicate Estelle's respect for the organizers and the general mood of the event. The relationship between the characters during the celebration may take on a new connotation, and the further development of the plot may depend on their interaction. Feronia replied that she herself should have thanked Estelle for coming. This could have emphasized the exclusivity and importance of Estelle's presence at the celebration. This polite interaction could be the basis for further strengthening the relationship between the characters in the novel. Estelle congratulated Lucian on his engagement. Her congratulations could contain warm words, wishes of happiness and prosperity in the future. Such congratulations reinforce the general joyful atmosphere of the event and emphasize the importance of this moment for the main characters. Lucian thanked Mrs. Estelle nicely, but at the same time his thoughts were directed in another direction. This could imply that he had mixed feelings, or that in his mind the exciting moments are connected to something else. This moment could be an interesting twist in the plot, leaving the reader waiting to see what secrets might be lurking inside Lucian. Feronia asks him if everything is okay. Her question can express care and concern for Lucian, especially if she has suspicions or feelings that something might be bothering him. It can also be the beginning of a close conversation, in which they can share their feelings and experiences. Lucian smiled sweetly and let her know that everything was fine. His smile and clear expression of confidence can reassure Feronia and emphasize that he feels good. This moment can create a positive note and lend a lightness to the atmosphere after the previous tense events.